Hey y'all, what's up? This is Rosie. I was just thinking about some of the fears we had as children, and they were shared by all of us, and I'm just wondering what happened to some of them, and also a lot of the nonsense we heard growing up, and why we were told those things when our parents knew that shit wasn't true. Like, for instance, quicksand. Now, I know quicksand exists. I know there is a chance that somebody will get caught up in it, and it's a real danger, and people who get caught in it experience true terror if they don't get out or if they do get out. But when we were growing up, we saw it in movies, we saw it in cartoons, we saw it to the point to where we just knew when we grew up, or at least I did, I knew that I grew up, I was going to go to a beach one day looking to have some fun, looking to, get in the ocean and run in the water a little bit. And I just knew for sure I was going to be the one to get caught in quicksand because I felt like that was my luck. I just knew that I was going to get caught in quicksand. I wouldn't be able to get out. I'd grab into a branch or some grass, and it would be that shit that breaks off brittly and easily because it's so dry, and then no more Rosie. I just knew that was going to be my luck. So to this day I don't go to beaches. Well, also that's because I live in Alabama, so yeah. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Also, the Bermuda Triangle. Why do people keep going out there if they disappeared? They knew they was going to disappear once they got there, but yet they just keep flying their happy asses out there in the Bermuda Triangle, getting lost in other dimensions. And you never see nor hear from them again, so they probably had to go back to the 1930s and fight in wars that they had nothing to do with, and then they died the very year they were born. Don't ask. Anyway, so why did people keep going out? What's out there for you? Ain't nothing out there for you. Don't go to the Bermuda Triangle. That's all I'm saying. Do not go out there. To this day, I will not go to the Bermuda Triangle, even if we don't hear about it anymore, because in the 80s and the 90s, there was a time where you were always hearing something about the Bermuda Triangle. Folks. Lord have mercy. And what was this crap that our parents used to always tell us? We would go outside and we would play, and then we'd come back inside with blood on us, and our parents say something like, rub some dirt on it, go back outside, you'll be alright. Rub some dirt on it. Ain't that the quickest way to gangrene? Or they would be like, you ain't hurt, quit crying, you just being a baby. Yeah, that's kind of what happens when you sprain your ankle, mom or dad. Or they'd say something like, I'll give you something to cry about. We're already crying. You don't have to do that. We provided the tears ourselves. Anyway, when I was 6 years old, I was playing out on the playground with some of my friends. And not paying attention, I somehow tripped and I fell. And I got hurt. When I got up and looked down at my knee, my right knee, I had skinned it. And there was quite a big area where the skin was missing. And since my mom and I lived with her psycho boyfriend, I'm not going to stop calling him that. I don't care what anybody says. He was a psycho. But we lived with her psycho boyfriend at the time, and I just knew that I was going to get in trouble. And I told my friends this because I was crying more for the possibility of getting in trouble and going home without my skin than I was about the skin missing. So my friends, feeling sorry for me and not wanting me to get in trouble, they looked around this playground with me for my missing skin. We looked in the area where I fell, and it wasn't there. I even picked up a piece of newspaper. It was a torn up piece of newspaper, but when I saw there was newsprint on it, it was just that dirty, by the way. It was so dirty that it was brown. But when I picked it up and looked at it, I saw that it had newsprint on it, and I knew that my knee did not. So we were just getting frustrated. Psycho boyfriend drives up, and he sees me crying, and he says, "What's wrong, Ross?" And I told him that I fell and skinned my knee and that we were all looking for my missing skin. He turned his head and I saw his shoulder shaking, but I didn't know he was laughing. I mean, looking back all these years later, I knew that he was laughing at me. And so he kind of laughed for a few seconds, then he straightened up and he looked at me and with a straight face said, "Y'all better find that skin, I'm gonna beat your ass." And he drove away. That's why I say he was a psycho. He always did things like that. He just got off on hurting me. But anyway, we looked for another 20-30 minutes until all of us had to go home to eat, because we gave up on it. I was like, somebody else gonna find my skin, they gonna steal it. But anyway, I was 6, okay? So I went home crying again, not only because of the pain in my knee, because it was really, really hurting me by then, but also because of what he said to me when he drove off. And my mom saw me, and she saw me holding my knee, and she said, "What's wrong?" And I showed it to her, and she kind of gasped because of how bad it looked, and plus it was still bleeding. So she went inside and she got the peroxide, and back then peroxide didn't really hurt me that much. So she got the peroxide and she cleaned my knee off, and she was going to give me a bath. And then I told her that I was going to get in trouble. And she said, "Why you think you're going to get in trouble?" And I told her what Bill said, but I didn't say the A word. I just said he said the A word. He was going to beat my A word. And she said, "He ain't going to do nothing. He was just saying that." But I just knew she was wrong, that he was really going to beat me, but he didn't. And so I'm just wondering, why did grown-ups do that? It's crazy what we went through as kids, and crazy what some of our parents did. Like, my left pinky finger is slightly bent on the first joint of it, because as a 1-year-old, I got it caught in the screen door and it got broken. So it never straightened up, and if I even try to straighten my finger up, it feels uncomfortable, because for this particular finger, that's just unnatural. It's naturally bent, and I've always lived that way. I found out that I was crying my head off because of this pain in my broken finger, and my mom wanted to go upstairs and take a bath first. Now, in her defense, she was only 16 years old at the time. But still, Mama, your 1-year-old is crying because she just broke her finger. You want to go take a bath first? Really? And so I could only picture that somebody in the house said, "Gal, bring your butt on here." It was the 70s after all. But, I mean, just our parents were something else back in the day. And I was just sitting here thinking of all this crazy stuff that our parents would tell us and wondering why they would tell us that. If we didn't eat all the food on our plates, we were told there were starving kids in Africa who didn't have the food that we had, and we need to be grateful. Never mind that we're too full and that we're engorging ourselves and that we don't need to eat all of that. No, there are starving kids in Africa and we're just being ungrateful. They'd be glad to have the food we have on our plates. And I just didn't understand why they couldn't understand the concept of us being full, so a lot of us had it ingrained in us to clean off our plates. It was just what we did. We had to do it, or we were guilted into it. And one more crazy thing my mom told me. When I was 6 years old, there was this commercial where this lady was in a hula dress, and she had on a lei around her neck, and she was kind of hula dancing while in a hammock or something. So I asked my mom why this lady was dancing lying down. I was 6. Again, I was 6. And I asked her this question, and my mom said to me with a straight face, "Oh, it's because a snake crawled up in her back. See, if you dance laying down, then you get a hole in your back and a snake crawls up into it." And so one night, about a year or so later, a song came on the radio. We kept that on at night, and I started dancing to it because I liked the song. And then I stopped because I remembered what my mom said, and my eyes grew big and I was petrified. I just knew that in the dark I was going to get a hole in my back and a snake was going to crawl into it. I was so scared, so scared. And I didn't go to sleep until I saw the sun come up. Years later, I brought this up to my mom when I was in my 30s, and I told her that she said this, and her jaw dropped because she couldn't believe she said that. She said, "Are you sure I said that?" I said, "Yeah, you said that." And it stayed with me for years. And she said, "Baby, I'm so sorry. My Lord, what was wrong with me?" Hey, our parents were something else. So yeah, that's what was on my mind today. I was just thinking about all this stuff, what we did growing up, and the pain we suffered, the fears we had, and I'm just wondering, what were some of your experiences and some of the crazy, goofy things your parents might have said, or even your older siblings? Hit me up in the comments below, and yeah, I want to hear from you. So I'm going to stop it right here, you guys. Thank you so much again for hanging out with me. I have a donations link in the description per usual. If you would hit that, help me and help support my channel. You will be helping me out more than you could ever possibly realize, and I thank you in advance. If you want to become part of my tribe, hit that subscribe button, because I'm trying to grow my tribe one person at a time. No matter what generation you are, I'll be glad to have you. But like I said, I'm stopping right here. Love you so much for wasting time with me. Hope to see y'all on the next upload. Bye for now.